Earlier today, I met with the Prime Minister and apologised to her for the way in which I had dealt with the immigration issue that Jason Kerrison raised with me in August this year. And as a result, I got a stern talking to. Jason Kerrison is an old family friend, and he asked me for advice and help for his mum and his stepfather. In dealing with Jason, I said things that were untidy and dumb, and I take responsibility for those things. I said some dumb things, but I did not do the wrong thing. The language was loose as I was communicating with an old friend. After Jason contacted me, I sought advice about how I should deal with the matter. That advice was that I could support Jason's efforts, but I should not advocate for the case, and that his local MP should do that. My records show that on October the 11th, I texted and called Jason to tell him that that was the plan. After that, I immediately called his local MP, Matt King, to ask if he was okay to take the case on. I understand Matt King has confirmed that call this afternoon. I became reluctant to get involved over time because of the number of messages I was receiving from Jason. Some of my responses to those messages were dumb. I was trying to let down a friend easy and not cause conflict. I should have been more direct with Jason that I was not comfortable with his messages or supporting his efforts. My messages gave him an impression that I was working on the issue when I was not. But I did not use my position to intervene in the case. Again, I have said some dumb things, but I didn't do the wrong thing. In the end, I did not follow through on any support for Jason and his family. And I want to apologise to him and his family for that after telling him and them that I would. I have very high standards for myself, and the Prime Minister has very high standards for her ministers. And I know the public has high standards too. And I know that I have not met all of those in dealing with this issue. I'm happy to take questions.
Did you offer the Prime Minister your resignation?
No, I did offer her my apologies for the way that I dealt with the issue. As I say, I got a stern talking to.
Did you consider resigning at all?
No, because as I say, in the end, I didn't do the wrong thing.
How could you not see it happen? Minister, you've been the press secretary, you've done all those things, you've offered advice to ministers, and how could you not see this happen?
Look, because it was, unguarded talk with a friend. And as I say, I should have just cut it and dealt with it and been much clearer with him when I was becoming uncomfortable with him. But as I say, I didn't want to let down a friend.
People might say, given the contents of the message, they find it hard to believe that you didn't get involved, which you would say.
Well, I didn't, and I've confessed that some of the messages were dumb.
The idea of sort of keeping things on the down low, I mean, that suggests that something's going on.
Yep, and that's my untidy way of saying I didn't really want to get any more messages. As you would have seen in some of the messages that have been sent out towards the end, I just stopped responding, and maybe that's what I should have done from the outset.
Why did you ask for the case number if you weren't going to do anything yourself?
Because at the beginning I was happy to write a letter of support, and when you do those kinds of things, whether it be an ATC case, an immigration case or a housing case, people usually have a client number to help us identify those people. I was just doing that because you usually put those at the top of a letter.
Did you have any dialogue about the fact that it appears Jason was going to release these messages?
He did write something in one of the text messages. To be honest, I didn't think he would do this. That's my, I'll take that on the chin, but it is what it is.
Are you still friends with him?
Look, he's been a long family friend, and I hope we'll continue to be friends.
Yeah, so are you not friends anymore?
Pardon?
Are you still friends?
Well, obviously he's not happy with the way that I dealt with him at the moment, so as I say, I apologise to him because I think the messages that I sent him gave him the understanding that things were happening when they were not.
Do you believe he's the one that gave the messages up?
Oh, look, it doesn't matter. I'm taking responsibility for it. The messages were dumb and I should have just been a lot clearer with him and direct with him at the beginning. But as I say, lesson learnt. And I didn't intervene in the case in the end. Didn't write the letter that I said I was going to write and didn't intervene in any way.
On the 27th, when he said he would go to the media, I mean, you didn't think at that point you would go to the Prime Minister picture and say, hey, there's something's going to break here and do something about it, get on the front foot?
No, not necessarily. I thought he might have just done that off his own bat to try and advocate for his family, as I think he was at the outset. So, you know, that's his decision.
Can you imagine how this must feel for people obviously on the Immigration New Zealand waiting list trying to get their partners and like that into New Zealand and seeing this sort of discussion with someone in a powerful position and with yourself, and also what would be your statement to those people who look at the system and say this isn't fair?
Look, simply people can always go to their MPs if they want to query or challenge an immigration case. When I was Associate Minister of Immigration, that was the bread and butter. Jason asked me for some help. I was happy to give him a level of support because I knew that, from what I knew of him, that there was that the case was genuine. But anyone can go and I don't think he was getting any other level of support.
Is there a need to perhaps apologise to those people on Immigration New Zealand ratings for the way that you've done this?
Look, I think I'm pretty much making an apology in general at the moment for the way that this has been dealt with.
How does this look, Minister, when we've had a previous minister sacked? I mean, it seems like it's just a ongoing carousel of ministers who are kind of stuffing up or acting dumb, you might say.
Well, look, and I'm taking responsibility for that action. And, you know, I think putting the information out there to show people what was going on behind the scenes in terms of the messages is what we wanted to do. So, you know, front up and say sorry.
Do you think this coverage has hampered the chances of that visa being approved now?
Look, I don't know, and I don't think it should. I don't know what state the case is at. That's up to Jason and his family, I guess.
Is Jason upset with you following this?
I'm assuming so.
Have you spoken to them in the last 20
No,
minutes?
look, that wouldn't be appropriate. He's an old family friend, but it wouldn't be appropriate for me to contact him.
In terms of what the Prime Minister said to you, can you give us some brief details of what he said?
Look, I think you can imagine she wasn't impressed and said that there's pretty high standards that we need to keep to, and in this case fell short of it. So, yeah.
Did she issue any form of warning in terms of your...
Look, I think a stern telling off is how I described it at the beginning, and it was stern.
How many times did you talk to Jason over the phone about this?
Oh, I think it's just the once that I have a record of. As I say, there was a phone conversation that is documented on the 11th of October, and immediately after that I told him that I would write him a support letter, or work to write him a support letter, and that he should go through his local MP. Immediately after that phone conversation I called that local MP to see if it was going to be okay for them to advocate, because that was the advice that I got. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Cheers.